Over the last couple of months I've been playing around with this flash gun. This is the Godox IT32. Now what I really like about this is something that not many people have really spoken about. That's the whole purpose of this video. In summary, the IT32 is a small TTL flash gun that is uniquely compatible with essentially any current camera manufacturer using their triggers. Rather than having its own hot shoe, the camera just has these contacts and some magnets, and then the shoes are dedicated to Fuji, Canon, Nikon, Sony systems, Panasonic, etc. And you buy the one that's correct for your camera. They're about 15 to 20 pound each. The flash guns are again only about 70 pound, I think. They're not very expensive, and you can switch it to whichever flash gun you want. Now they've marketed this with the idea of maybe students, or you might be changing camera brands that you tend to use. I have a friend who's gone from working predominantly with Canon to predominantly Sony. Now, rather than having to replace all his cameras and lenses and flash guns, the flash gun can carry over from one system to the other, which is a great idea. That's not the benefit for me. I tend to work with two systems for digital anyway. My main system is the Leica M series. This is the M10-R. I've got a 75mm Typoc lens on here at the moment, which is absolutely lovely. And my second camera, which I use for video or if I need TTL composition, is the Fuji X-E4. And I tend to use the same lenses using lens adapters, but I have some autofocus lenses as well. Now, they've finally been able to ship the Leica adapter, so I've only just got this last couple of days. But what it means is I can put the flash onto the Leica. I tend to have it stop down a little bit as well, so I'm going to stop it down by a stop. There we go, little touchscreen display, and that works. I can then take the camera off and I can use handheld flash, which is my preferred way of working. But rather than on location needing to think about, okay, which flash gun's working with which camera, rather than having to think about, okay, one camera's got flash, one doesn't, and having to have that compromise, what I can now do, which is very, very easy, is I can lift the flash gun off of this camera, put it onto this one, and it will now know which camera it's attached to. And if I try and control it from the Leica, it still works as well. So it can recognize whichever camera is triggering it, and it's going to make my life photographically that much easier when I'm working on a big project. And the example that comes to mind is a few years ago I was photographing with a team of glassblowers, and I wanted to bring a little bit of fill-in flash into some of the portraits. This is going to be a much more convenient setup with far less to carry. You know, two cameras, one flash gun, maybe a spare lens, and that covers everything I need, even though the cameras are from different manufacturers and have different connectors for the flash. So the other features of the flash is, as well as having that little touchscreen for the control there, and I've got a little thumb wheel for that as well. If I go into the menu, I can choose to put on a little modelling lamp, which is quite bright, and it's got a lens on the front of it which gives a general circle of light, even though it is rectangular in shape. I also have different modes. I've got TTL, manual, where I can adjust the full-on power, and multi. I generally keep it set to TTL and stop it down just for simplicity. I also have high-speed sync flash on here as well, which is very useful, particularly with the Fujifilm rather than the Leica. If I was working with sort of high-speed bursts at all, not having to worry about the recharge time. The flash gun charges from USB-C. There it is on the side, and it also has underneath the diffuser dome I've got on here a little flip out diffuser and a bounce card as well. So it has all the options you generally want, swivel and bounce. All in all, absolutely brilliant little flash gun. And for me, that way of being able to switch automatically from one camera to another is going to be a real game changer on location. Thank you very much, Godox, for coming up with such a unique idea. I really look forward to seeing what else you do with this idea in the future with your other flash guns, and maybe we'll see other companies trying to get in on the act and giving a bit of competition to drive the idea further. Who knows? If you've found this video useful and you want to know more about my work, my practice, but also ideas in the darkroom, don't forget to give it a subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you for more stuff in the future. Bye for now.